Just seeing Darrier's shattered face at the end. I'm really sad. I just finally got around to reading the latest chapter, and I'm greeted with, Mon sacrificing himself and dying for Derriere. I'm just like, really? Like, come on. Like, I mean, I'm glad that, characters are dying. It does put weight to the series. I've always loved Mon, and I've always loved Derriere's relationship, and I've always wanted more of them. And with Mon dying, that future for those two, for them to be happy and have a nice life, that's not gonna happen, because Mon, his final heart was crushed, just completely crushed, and with him pushing Derriere away like he did, it was kind of like symbolizing he knew it was over. He knew that he was dead, and what he needed to say, the feelings within him. We know what his feelings are. We know what he wants to say to Derriere, and she might eventually find out. But for now, though, he was silenced. He couldn't speak and say what he wanted to say because of his commandment. And he realized this, and he's like, I guess, I can't ever say what I want to say to you. And he basically just shoves her away, and she goes flying. And he decides to use, Hell Blaze, and it just lights up the area, and it burns Estarossa. It's an honorable act. What he did was pretty savage, and I have so much respect for Mon as a character for what he just did for Derriere. Derriere, though, she's going to have a hard road ahead of her. I definitely see a long and hard road. There's so many things that she's probably going to have to come to terms with and understand. But I just want to talk about Mon for a second, what he exactly did. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of will to be able to do what he did after his final heart was crushed. I mean, think about this. His heart was taken out of his chest, crushed. He realized it was over right then and there, and he was able to kind of speak, grab Estarossa's face, hold it, and then he managed to light everything on fire. He kind of, in a way, did a Vegeta move. He did, the Final Atonement from Vegeta. Maybe not to that level, because Final Atonement Vegeta was just, oh my god. I'm sorry. I like this Mon scene. I like the Derriere stuff that's going on. I'm going to be honest here. Nothing compares to that Final Atonement scene from Vegeta for Dragon Ball. Just oh my god. Call it nostalgia, call it bias, whatever. That was just an iconic scene. But still, Mon still kind of pulled a Vegeta scene, and he lit everything on fire, and that's the end. That's the end of his character. Now, let's be real here. It's obvious that Estarossa is not going to die. He could potentially be completely messed up, permanently messed up after this fight, but I don't think he's dead. There's so much with his character and the hints at it and all of this. It's just killing his character off here wouldn't make sense. From a writing standpoint and a narrative, no. I don't see Nakba killing off Estarossa, even though it'd be nice to see Mon, his final act, killing off the person that ended his life and was trying to hurt Derriere and everybody else. Even then, though, it wouldn't be good for the plot if he was killed off. So, Estarossa, he's going to live. The question is, what is Estarossa going to get after this? For instance, we know he's going to get Mon's commandment, but will he be permanently damaged? Now, I do know that demons can regen. This has been established. Many of us already know this. Demons, when they get hurt, they can regen. But we do also know that Mon, he is the highest level of demon flames itself, these Hellblaze flames, this black flames. He's high level, very high, the highest. And we do know that these type of flames can hurt people permanently. And what I mean by that is, let's think about Bon. Meliodas left a scar on Bon. Even though Bon has an immortal body, we know this, he had a scar left on him after he was already immortal from Meliodas. Meliodas hit him with this fire, which damaged him permanently. And that's technically what Mon just used against Estarossa. So I do hope that Estarossa has some form of burn mark on his face. Maybe half his face is burnt or whatever, or half his body is burnt. It'd be a very nice look design, change up his design a bit just to show the everlasting effect of what Mon did to his body. I think that would be a way I could accept Mon's death and Estarossa to continue walking forward, is if Estarossa had a permanent burn mark somewhere on his face after what happened. Moving over, let's talk about the stuff with Elizabeth. So, Elizabeth plays a very big role in this chapter, and also Death Pierce does as well. Now, Death Pierce, he's been given characterization here and there, but he's not one of the most relevant or most important characters in the series. Let's just be real. But even then, though, Death Pierce has had a role to play, and in the latest chapters, that role is basically showing how Rudisill's brainwashing has really messed up Stigma and just made it to where they can't even feel the sense of pain or fear, and they will continue to march forward and not even caring if they die or not. They will march forward. And in this chapter, we have Death Pierce basically say that Elizabeth is useless, and the only reason why, they were able to stand tall was thanks to Rudisill giving them this ability, this blessing. And it's explained that this blessing called Cheat Hope, it allows them to have their bodies go to their uppermost limits, like pull out their limits, but they will not fear at all. They will not feel fear, and they will not feel pain. And that is something that all warriors need to have. If you're fighting on the battlefield, you need to be able to feel pain and fear. That's a big thing to kick in for your survival instincts. I mean, in some ways, you can be a super soldier doing some crazy stuff, but if you don't feel fear or pain, then you're going to have things happening to your body that you're not going to be aware of, and it's just everything's going to go downhill. And Elizabeth, basically, she was saying, you all should not rely on Cheat Hope. And Death Pierce was talking smack, saying, like, you're useless and all that, don't be putting Rudisill down. But then, the two Archangels come in and clarify and back Elizabeth up. This is what truly surprised me about the chapter. You already know that these two Archangels, they're not entirely on Elizabeth's side. However, they do listen to reason, and they are not as bloodthirsty as Rudisill is. They have listened to Elizabeth in the past. We've seen this in flashbacks, when, Diane and King were going for their flashback and stuff, finding out about the past. We know that these two Archangels, they will ally themselves with Elizabeth, help her out, and try to help out her objectives, because they do make logical sense. And they actually praise Elizabeth in this chapter and try to correct Death Pierce on the fact that what's going on right now with their bodies and why they're healed is not because of Rudisill and his blessing. It was actually thanks to Elizabeth sitting there and healing everybody the entire fight, healing everyone on the battlefield. That's impressive. That's very impressive for her to be able to heal everybody like that and make it to where none of them really die. Then, to go one step further as well, she was also communicating to demons and trying to persuade the demons to not continue this pointless fight. She doesn't want pointless bloodshed. She was trying to let the demons know, stop this right now, back off. And the two Archangels were praising Elizabeth, saying, like, the lower tier demons obviously would never try to go against the highest level of demons, Cusack and Chandler. But even then, though, she managed to persuade a couple of low tier demons to just give all resistance up for the fight and not want to continue fighting in this certain part of the battlefield. And that's why they ran off to go somewhere else. It's because of Elizabeth and her trying to communicate. And this is something that we've constantly seen from Elizabeth in the series, especially when it comes to her goddess flashbacks. She's always been that person talking to others, trying to persuade them not to continue this fight. And there you go. We once again see this. And so the Archangels backing up Elizabeth, they are not as terrible as everybody probably says they are. They definitely will listen to reason. And I do think that Derriere, for the most part, might have a little bit of trouble, but I do think that if Elizabeth talks to the two Archangels, they're probably going to let Derriere slide and not try to harm her at all. So let's get into that. So Derriere, she obviously has landed on the battlefield to where everybody's at. Stigma, Elizabeth, and all of that. And it makes me wonder if Mon pushed her that far on purpose. Like, did he actually know that Elizabeth was there and he shoved Derriere that far away because he knew that Elizabeth would protect Derriere? Regardless if he was there, he knew that Elizabeth wouldn't allow Derriere to come to harm. I believe that most likely could be the case. If not, though, just like great coincidence, but I want to believe, my headcanon says that Mon knew where Elizabeth was. He launched Derriere over there to protect her. And it shows that he's putting his faith in a goddess clan member, a goddess, just to be able to protect the one he loves. Now, Derriere as a character, right now, she's probably incredibly broken. I mean, she just lost someone that she deeply cares about, a companion she's had for a very long time, and she also had someone just like die, and she lost her home. She just lost everything in that moment. She doesn't really know how to feel right now, and also her entire world has been shaken because she's had it to where humans have helped her out, the goddess clan has helped her out, and I mean, because of all this, she doesn't really know how to feel anymore about this entire holy war. And with her landing on the battlefield, she probably won't really even know what's going on. She just might be so messed up in the head right now, she might not even comprehend anything. But even if she kind of gets a grasp on it, I think she's in good hands. I do believe that the two Archangels are probably going to try to fight up against Derriere. Maybe some of the regular Stigma members are, but I believe Elizabeth's probably going to talk to all of them and all that, and she's going to probably turn out to be okay. And this is nice to see. I'm glad to see that Derriere is potentially joining our forces, because that means that she's going to get more character development, more screen time. We get to see her have her grudge match against Estarossa in the future, because we know he's going to live. So that's the good stuff about this chapter. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like, and I love you guys. Chibi out.